Begin in Virasana, sitting between the heels. Feel free to sit on a blanket or a block. The palms are facing up on the thighs here in a gesture of receptivity, of graciously opening to life as it's given to us, as it is in this moment, without trying to micromanage or overly control things. Can we receive? And then from your Virasana, carefully step back into downward facing dog, giving the legs some time to open, stretching through the backs of the knees as you bend one leg and then the other. Fill the whole shape with your breath to every edge and every corner of the body. And then in a meditative way, roll forward into plank pose and back into downward dog. We'll do this a few times, just a simple moving meditation, inhaling to plank. And exhaling deeply back into downward facing dog. Simple movement to calm the mind. Inhale to plank. And this time you can exhale all the way to your belly. We'll set up for Sphinx Pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders, palms flat, a sense of kind of dragging the earth towards you to extend the spine out of the hips. And then from Sphinx, you're going to stretch your right arm way out along the floor in front of you. And take your left knee, hike it up towards the outside of your chest so that you can fall backwards into a supine twist. Just spill the back of your heart towards the floor behind you and open your left arm out to the left side. Breathe deeply and fully here in a way that feels really cleansing. And then to come out of this one, stretch your left leg straight down by your right leg again. Return to your belly, planting hands underneath your shoulders and opening your heart in a Cobra. From Cobra, come through hands and knees. Curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. As we did before, you'll inhale and roll yourself out into plank. And now exhale back into downward dog. And you can stick with that, or if you want to take it into a back bend, you can inhale and ripple into a soft up dog with the toes curled. Keyword is really gentle here. And then up and back into down dog. And if it feels like too much, stick with plank. Otherwise, roll out into a back bend. And roll back into your downward facing dog. Try to be smooth like honey. Roll into your up dog. The toes can stay curled. Draw back into downward dog, and on the next one, roll into plank pose and pause. Stay right there. And then bend the elbows close to the body, lower all the way to the earth. Getting ready for another Sphinx pose. Sliding the forearms underneath you, elbows under the shoulders, palms flat, and the heart charging forward out of the hips. Begin to crawl your left arm forward, stretch it straight on the floor in front of you. And take your right knee, hike it up to the outside of your right ribs so that you can fall backwards into the supine twist, extending the right arm back into the right behind you. One more deep breath. And then stretch your right leg straight down alongside the left leg. Roll onto your belly, take the hands under the shoulders, ripple the heart open, Bhujangasana, Cobra. Through hands and knees, back into downward facing dog. This downward dog, you're going to walk one slow footstep at a time, all the way up to the top of the mat. Make this too a moving meditation done with care. Fold into your legs. You can have a little shake or sway from side to side to help loosen up any tight spots. And then with soft knees, roll all the way up to stand, Tadasana. Inhale, go ahead and sweep your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, dive out over your legs to touch the earth. Step the right leg back, lower the knee to the ground, and you can either stack your palms on your left thigh, or if you're comfortable with it, you can reach both arms up alongside your ears into the Crescent Moon, Anjaneyasana. Empty the hands to either side of your front foot, step back, downward facing dog. Roll this down dog out into a plank. And take your plank slowly all the way to the earth, landing and then opening in a cobra. Pour back into down dog as you empty the breath. With a big inhale, send your right leg up and back behind you. Smoothly step it forward between the hands. Help it up if you need to. Place the back knee down. You can stack palms on the right thigh. Or if you have the room, you can reach arms up alongside the ears, maybe even behind the ears. One full breath. And then hands frame the front foot, curl the back toes, and step forward to the top of the mat to fold in half. From the roots of your feet, rise all the way up as you breathe in. Connect the prayer above your head and pour right back down over your legs as you exhale. Step your left leg back with a giant step. Lower the knee down. Arms go up into the sky. One calm breath here, and then release hands down and step back into down dog. Ride your inhale out into plank pose. Lower that plank all the way to the earth. Heart opens in cobra. And exhale back into downward facing dog. Send the left leg up to the sky and step it slowly forward. Right knee touches down as the arms rise. Find your crescent lunge. And then release the hands. Step the back foot forward to fold in half. The inhale takes you all the way up, catching a prayer above you. And exhale all the way back down to feel the ground. Take your right leg way back. Lower the knee down. Lift your arms up. Take that whole sweet breath here, in and out. And then release the hands. Draw your hips back and take a runner's stretch. So the front leg elongates, the toes point up. Bow over it. And then shifting back to lunge, bend the front knee, curl the back toes, step back downward facing dog. Reach your heart forward, heels back, plank pose. Halfway down this time or all the way to the floor. Cobra or upward facing dog. Back into downward facing dog. Right leg flies up to the sky. Step it up between the hands. Kiss the back knee down. Raise your arms up into the air. And then the hands fall to frame the front foot. Draw back the hips. Take that runner's lunge. Flex the right toes up. Fold. Look forward. Shift forward. Bend the front knee. Step the back foot up. Fold in half. And inhale, rise up on the wave of your breath. As you exhale, pour back down to the ground. Take the left leg back. It's a giant step. The knee touches down. The arms reach up into the air. And then drop the hands, draw back the hips, and fold over your long front leg, dropping in. Bend the front knee again, curl the back toes, downward facing dog. Ride it forward, plank pose. In no hurry, lower down all the way to the earth or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Raise left toes to the sky. Send the left foot flying up between the hands. Back knee down, arms in the air. Crescent lunge and then runner's stretch. Hands drop. You draw the hips back and fold. Bend the front knee, spring forward, step to the top of the mat, fold in half. Rise all the way up. And fold all the way down. Right leg goes back, knee down, arms up in the air, Anjaneyasana. Drop the hands, draw the hips back, runner's stretch, long front leg, fold over it. And now from here, look forward, spring into a standing split on that left foot. So launch the right toes up to the sky as you fold into your left leg. And then bring your right shin down to the inside of your left foot. Sit on your right heel. And we'll prepare for a little bit of back bending, tiny. Hands behind you, lift your hips up. That right leg is still folded. Sit back to your right heel. And do that twice more. Lift your hips up. The head can fall back if that's comfortable. Sit back down on the right heel. Last time, hips lift, the whole front of that right thigh getting a great opening. And this time as you come on down, sit inside your right heel. So half Virasana on the right side. Catch your hands around your left shin to make your spine really tall. If you feel like you're toppling over, sit on a blanket or a block. And if you have the room, you can start to take Supta Virasana. Scoop your tail underneath you as the hands walk back. You can go to palms, you can go to elbows. You might even go all the way down to your shoulder blades. Try to keep the lower back wide, and some of you might even have the room to bring your left knee into your chest and clasp your hands around it. After a few breaths here, you can go ahead and play it exactly in reverse. So if you had that left knee tucked into your chest, release your left foot to the ground. Climb onto your elbows and then your palms to lift your torso up if you were reclining. And then carefully and slowly stand up on that left leg. Take the right leg flying up into standing split again just to release through the knee. And then step the right foot down beside the left and fold over your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up, touch the palms. Exhale, fold all the way down. Left side, extend the left leg way back. Lower the knee as you lift your arms up into your Crescent Lunge. And then drop the hands to frame the front foot for your runner's stretch. Long front leg, dive over it. As you bend that front knee again and look forward, curl the back toes and launch onto your right foot for your standing split, taking the left toes flying up into the sky. And then slowly and mindfully bring your left shin down to the inside of the right foot so that you can sit on your left heel. Pausing, walk the hands back behind you. Raise your pelvis, tip the head back, and then sit down on that left heel again. Twice more, you can breathe in and lift your hips to the sky. Head falls back if that's comfortable. And lower back down to the heel. Raise it up. And lower down, this time arranging yourself to sit inside the left heel for half Virasana on the left side. Finding a tall spine by holding the right shin. If that's enough, stay there. Use any props you need to make this work for your body. If you can recline, walk the hands back, scoop the tail under, maybe lower to elbows, maybe even all the way onto your back. You can stay there, breathing mindfully and calmly. If you have the space, you can take the right shin into your chest and catch your hands around it. And then to come out, play everything in reverse, releasing the right knee if you were holding it. Climbing back onto your elbows, you can kind of scoot them back behind you to help lift the chest up. And then onto palms, lifting your seat, and finally standing split on the right leg. Send the left toes up, up, up. And step the feet together, folding forward. Shake it out a little bit. Soften your knees, ripple all the way up and stand in Tadasana. Matsyendrasana, you're going to balance on your left foot. Hold your right ankle from the outside and reach your left arm up to the sky. Extend the right toes up and back behind you. Keep the heart lifted. And now sweep your left hand back behind you and see if you can pass that right foot off to the left hand. Just do your best with it and raise the right arm up. So a little bit of a revolved Matsyendrasana here. Hold on to that foot just as long as you can as you fold your right knee behind your standing leg to come down for seated spinal twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Arrange the legs. Drop the left hand behind you to keep your spine bright, and then extend right arm up or hook it over the knee. Right elbow tucks over the knee. You can always hug the knee too, just wrap your arm around it. Elongate as you breathe in, make space, get broad and bright. Twist deeper from the navel as you exhale. Gentle release, turn back to center. Nothing fancy here, just unwrap the legs and help yourself up to standing. Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Soft knees, roll your way up, one bone at a time, standing in Tadasana, preparing for your dancer pose on the other side. Right foot planted, catch the left foot from the outside for this version today. Right arm goes up, left toes come up. Holding from the outside so that it's easier to pass the hand off. Bring your right hand behind you. Pass the left foot to it. Extend your left arm up to the sky. You can hold that back foot or you can let it go as you need to. Coming down into your seated twist. Twining the left leg behind the right as you come to sit. Get 2 sitting bones planted. Get your right foot flat outside your left knee. And drop your right fingers behind you. Take the left arm over for your twist. Try to twist without urgency, as deeply but also as gently as you can. And this is Peaky, the magical little dog. Step back into down dog from Ardha Matsyendrasana. Animals make everything better. This downward dog, you're going to kick the right leg up to the sky behind you. Take your knee forward between your thumbs, getting ready for a little waterfall pigeon. Ripple the heart down and then roll it right back up 3 times. Undulations, getting the spine ready for some back bending. Roll down and roll up one more time. And then this time you'll stay up. And maybe it's enough just to be there, planted on your fingertips with a big bright spine. Or maybe you can reach for that back foot, bending the left knee in. You can hold the foot from the outside. Or if you want to go a little deeper, hold the foot from the inside and press it down towards the left sitting bone. You might even take your palm to the front of the foot with the fingers curling over the tops of the toes so that you can get some real leverage to press that foot down. It's almost mimicking a half Virasana situation in that left leg. Release it very gently. Curl the back toes and step back, downward facing dog. Roll your way out into plank and then lower your plank to the ground. Plant your forehead. Take your Sphinx Pose. Elbows under the shoulders as you lift your chest. Move your right forearm in a few degrees and reach back for your left foot, just like you did in that pigeon. You can hold it from the outside and press it down. Or next step would be to hold it from the inside. Get your palm to the top of the foot, fingers curling over the front of the toes. The elbow will start to rotate up towards the sky. And the last step maybe is to straighten that right arm if you have the room for a half frog pose, Ardha Bhekasana. Release the shape, pausing, putting head on the ground, and then come through hands and knees back into downward facing dog. Reach your left toes up to the sky behind you. Send the knee up between your thumbs. Pigeon pose with sweet little waterfall undulations, rolling the head down and drawing it back up, rippling through each bone of the spine. Letting it remind you of your innate grace and sweetness. The next time you rise up, stay lifted, stay bright in this back bend. You can walk the fingertips back and stay there. Or you can reach for that right foot. You can hold it from the outside with the right hand. Or move that hand to the inside of the foot if you have the room. Start to press the heel towards its own sitting bone. Maybe even rotating that shoulder so the elbow begins to point up and the fingers curl over the toes as the palm presses right down on the top center of the foot. Keep the heart bright, the shoulders squaring forward, and the breath deep. Release your pigeon carefully. Try not to spring out of it. Step back, downward dog. Roll your down dog out into a plank and empty your plank all the way to the ground. Sphinx Pose, elbows under shoulders, palms flat. This time left forearm turns in about 30 degrees. Right knee bends. Reach for the right foot, draw the heel towards the sitting bone. You can hold it from the outside, or you can switch the grip, hold it from the inside. Begin to rotate your right elbow towards the sky. Palm on the top of the foot, fingers over the toes, and then maybe that left arm straightens. Try to stay calm and sweet and welcoming, taking any sharpness out of it by breathing deeper. Release carefully that right leg. Lower your forehead down to the mat. Bring your arms down beside you. Turn the palms so that they face up, backs of the hands on the floor, and then lift everything away from the ground into Shalabhasana. Think about getting long just as much as lifting up. The chin can come down just a touch, so you're really using your belly to lift you up. And when you come down slowly, turn your cheek to one side. Rest as if you're listening deeply to the ground, listening deeply to your heart, to your truth. Bring your forehead to the ground, bend both knees, reach back and hold your ankles. If they're not available, you can keep the legs long just as we did in locust pose. Otherwise, go ahead and hold those ankles, reach your toes up to the sky as if you're going to stretch your legs back behind you. Really use the power of your legs to peel your heart up and open. Bow pose. And then gracefully lower that bow all the way down to the ground. Turn your other ear to the ground. Rest well. Breathe deeply. And now we'll get ready for the full frog pose. Full Bhekasana. Starting in Sphinx and reaching right hand for right foot, left hand for left foot. You can hold from the outside, press the feet towards the sitting bones, or you can hold from the inside. Palms to the tops of the feet and begin to rotate the elbows to point up, the fingers forward, curling around the toes, pressing the heels towards the outside of the sitting bones, trying to raise the heart, trying to find as much grace as you can in a shape that's quite challenging. And then release, well-deserved relaxation. Turn your head to one side. Forehead to the ground. Cobra or up dog, your choice. Into downward facing dog. Let's try one more fun, challenging pose. From downward dog, gonna lift your left leg up to the sky. Send your left knee right up between your thumbs. Pigeon, but we're gonna take pigeon into Vamadevasana. Reach for that back foot. And just like you did in the frog, hand on the top of the foot, fingers curling over it, and you lean back enough that you can take your left hand to your front foot. Try to pick it up and see if you can get your feet to touch. Look over your right shoulder, away from the front of the mat. Vamadevasana. And then release gently, slowly. Down dog, step back, shake it out. You can stay where you are. I'm just going to turn around to face the other end of the mat so you can see what I'm doing on this side too. So from your downward facing dog, raise right leg to the sky, bring right knee forward. Pigeon set up, lift the heart, reach for that back foot. See if you can press it towards the sitting bone and then lean back, lean onto your right cheek. Enough that you can pluck your right foot up with your right hand and try to get the feet towards each other. It's okay if they don't touch. Just move them in that direction and then look to the left over your left shoulder. Release it very carefully. Bring the back leg around to the front. Come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little from side to side. And then from there, taking a simple supine twist, stacked knees can drop over to the right as the upper body spirals to the left. Breathe deeply and fully. Relax your heart. Bring it on back through center. Feel the middle. Settle for a moment. No hurry. And then head over to the other side. Knees spin to the left as the upper body spirals to the right. Slowly returning back to center, lift the knees up, shift your hips back into the middle of the mat. If you've moved them, hug your knees into your chest, rock a touch from side to side. And then go ahead and rock yourself right up to sitting. Stretch the legs out in front of you. You can walk your sitting bones back just a touch, a little revolved Paschimottanasana. Right hand to pinky toe edge of the left foot, or as close to that as you can get it. And the left arm opens back behind you. Try to keep the spine as long and lifted as possible. And then cross the wrists, catch the other edge of the foot and fold forward. Again, if you don't reach the feet, that's not a problem. Just reach where you can. And then left hand to the outer right foot or anywhere on the leg as the right arm reaches back behind you, twisting. Turn back to face center. You can crisscross the wrists, hold the feet, and dive forward over your long legs or any variation of this long-legged forward bend. Forward bends are poses of surrender. What can you surrender to? Roll up, releasing. Scoot your hips forward if you need to roll down onto your back for Shavasana. Let your bones settle, let your heart spread out. Let yourself rest. Stay as long as you like. Namaste.